I figured this would be fun. I don't often do things like animation reviews, but, you know, like, I've done videos on The Simpsons before, and I do a lot of stuff on Marvel, so I figured, hey, a mashup between those two, I'll get on that. I'll do a little video about that. So, The Simpsons, The Good, The Bart, and The Loki. A Marvel and Simpsons crossover episode. So, we've had kind of Marvel-themed Simpsons episodes with Bart the bad guy. And I don't know if I missed something, but I wasn't expecting this to be a short film. I was expecting it to be an episode. And I think there's an episode's worth of potential in there. And I don't mind the idea of these out-of-universe sort of Simpsons episodes where they'll cross over with a bigger property. I think, you know, the time is ripe for that, as the Simpsons formula, you know, even though I'm kind of an apologist for the more recent seasons of The Simpsons, the Simpson formula has kind of run a little dry. The well of stories is drying up, that's quite obvious. So going into this review, a thing to know about me is while I do believe and kind of agree with the majority that The Simpsons' best days are far behind it, I also think the worst days are quite a ways behind it as well. Now, I'm gonna be real, I figured if The Simpsons would make like a Marvel crossover, they'd do a fully fledged Marvel crossover. It seems kind of oddly niche to have it just be like this one particular Marvel character taking center stage, that being Loki. Like, I'd expect, I don't know, someone like Iron Man to take center stage in like a Simpsons Marvel crossover. So this always kind of struck me as more of like an advert for both The Simpsons and the Loki series than anything else. It's Loki because it's current. And you know what? I think that is definitely the case, because there's no creativity here whatsoever. As far as a short crossover between these two giant properties goes, this is about as cold and soulless as it gets. There are no gags here. Like, I get it, there are humorous moments, such as Loki making infinite pork chops for Homer, but there's no outright gags, no clever, witty jokes or anything like that present whatsoever. The main gag is Loki's being exiled from Asgard. Oh no, he's gotta go to Springfield. He meets the Simpsons. Antics ensue, and you'd think in a short film, there's not too much pressure on them to write too many gags out here, you know? They're not gonna, you know, dry themselves up, but this is one dry minisode. So the story is Loki enjoys life as a Simpson, Lisa learns that she's worthy of wielding Mjolnir, and brings the Simpsons universe Avengers to take down Loki. And it's this visual, I guess you could call it, gag of the Simpson characters as different Avengers, which is clearly supposed to be the main gag here. It's what's on the poster and everything. But as I say, like, the rest of the episode is absolutely witless because they've just assigned random Simpson characters with random Avengers. Like, these characters have nothing in common with their Marvel counterparts, and they have, like, there's no gag to be made from, here's Barney as Iron Man, here's Ned Flanders as Ant-Man. Like, nothing here correlates. And there's no joke here either, because they don't say or do anything, they just come in the background. The only one that does anything is Ralph Wiggum, who they've made into the Hulk, which I guess makes some relative sense because he's kind of a child and he's kind of got the mind of a child, and that's kind of what the Hulk is like, just a bit more temperamental. There's a joke in there about how he's soiled his pants differently this time because, you know, the Hulk rips his clothes. And okay, that's the closest. This is the wittiest thing in this episode, is that one gag about Ralph Wiggum soiling his pants. That's where the bar is for this. And they don't even stay consistent with who these characters are being portrayed by, because we see that Vision and Wanda are portrayed by Mo and Patty. As I say, incredibly random, but then during the credits there's a piece of art of Maggie watching WandaVision, and they're portrayed by the Van Hootens. And it's just so inconsistent, but it's like, what jokes could be mined from Mo being Vision and Patty being Wanda? What jokes can you mine from that? They don't mine any from that in the show anyway. Absolutely nothing gets done with this. Again, the only character that gets anything to do here is the Ralph Wiggum Hulk in an after credits, where they, and I say this in very loose terms, parody the iconic scene of the Hulk throwing Loki around in 2012's Avengers. And this basically sums up the wit of this episode. This basically sums up what this episode is. This scene is already a comedic scene in the original, and they add nothing to it. Nothing at all. with it being Ralph Wiggum. In fact, it's honestly less comedic than the 2012 original scene. In the original scene, we got Loki being all boastful and arrogant, and then the Hulk just quietly puts him in his place, and he just whimpers down there. In this version, Loki's just standing there, and Ralph's just like, "You're not nice," and then throws him around, and then Loki's just like, "Little privacy, please." There's less comedy here. Like, I don't think they understood what made this scene really funny in the first place. It's more like a cover. It's more like the Simpsons cover of the Avengers rather than it being a parody. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point of this? Your selling point is Ralph Wiggum is the Hulk and Tom Hiddleston guest stars. Well, that's not... How did that get past the pitching phase? I'll tell you how. Cynical marketing campaigns. On a whole, The Simpsons, The Good, The Bart, and The Loki is a waste of time. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend watching it. But of course, go form your own opinion. If you're interested in it, go watch it. But personally, nah. Two of pop culture's biggest giants come together and it's completely and utterly boring. If you want a good pop culture mashup, I strongly recommend the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy. So okay, what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are links to different social media feeds, as well as my Patreon where you can help support this channel. A special shout out goes to the patrons in the $10 tier. That is Marcus Ward, Sirius the Skeptic, and Biotin Arts. You guys are the real MVP, as the kids would say. As for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.